Don't let it hold you back. It just, like I said, it can be tricky with any, like, even if you're considered normal, you know, like, you're going to have problems, you're going to have speed bumps, and you just have to know how to get over them.
I usually punch it for the speed bumps. I just, like, fly over those things. That brings me to my next point. Driving. That's a big issue, especially amongst the albinism community. Because that, I mean, everybody, let's face it, everybody wants their independence. Everybody wants to drive.
But the driving issue also goes back to the varying vision levels.
Oh, yeah,
also,
that's true, too. Yeah.
Because some people just flat out, like, I mean, we were both told since birth, you're not going to be able to drive. And
if you're a parent of someone with albinism, you're going to hear that a lot from different doctors.
Because doctors are mainly pessimists. And they don't, honestly, a lot of doctors aren't educated on albinism. Like, a lot of my doctors don't even know what it is, like, that I've been to before. And they're like, what? What is that? What are you talking about? Even the people that, like, delivered me didn't even know what it was until a nurse said something, like a nurse realized it.
I've had doctors tell me that, I remember it started that, oh, he's not going to be able to go to school with regular children. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I was the most popular kid in school. I'm kidding.
But we both went to mainstream school.
Yeah, we went to regular school. There wasn't like special school or anything like that.
No.
I was told that I'd never be able to ride a bike. I could, like, make 90-degree turns on a bike with no hands. I've ridden a motorcycle.
He can ride his bike with no handlebars.
I hate that song.
I know. Anyway.
And then, of course, the biggest one.
Oh, and also, doctors will tell you you're going to die at, like, age 9 from skin cancer.
I've never heard that.
I have. Anyway.
Doctors in the South. Thank goodness I'm going there.
Anyway. But, like, okay. Just kind of, we'll come back to the driving thing shortly.
She does this all the time.
I'm one of those ranters. I'll get back there eventually. Anyway, but okay, we have to be really sensitive. We're really sensitive to the sun. Obviously, we're pale. There's nothing you can do to hide that. We're pale, so we burn. We don't tan. We can never tan.
We're pale?
Yeah, we're pale.
God, I never knew.
We're really pale, and so like we can never tan. We burn. We have to be really careful. We wear sunglasses, and we have, like, those really fashionable wide brim hats that are really cute. And we just have to be careful, like sunscreen, SPF 1,000,000, even though I know that it's over SPF 30, whatever. But anyway,
that's what they say. I don't personally believe that. Anything over SPF 30, because that stuff wears off. I've been burnt with SPF 45.
But still, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's true. We're not gonna melt in the sun or whatever. I've heard that.
We're not allergic. We're not vampires.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, we're really not vampires. Really. Sorry. Yeah. So, okay, back to driving.
Yeah, back to driving since you so rudely branched.
Oh yeah, but anyway.
Oh, is this another branch? Is that where we're going?
It's like a little twig off the driving branch.
Yeah,
it's on the driving branch, just a little, like, you know, those little twigs that come on. Anyway, so we've both been told can't drive. Matt,
now, if you're like not the vast majority, but there are a good number of us that
really can't.
That you can't without certain accommodations. And I don't want certain parents out there either to get their hopes up, because in some situations, the eyesight is so poor that you can't without any accommodations.
There's nothing you can
so it's just something that you're just going to have to take in stride, because you kind of have to approach that when it comes. I would suggest maybe preparing your child with the idea that they might not be able to drive, just because when they are, like in Ashley's situation.
I'm 20 years old, and I just got approved to drive. Like, and up until then, I was just convinced.
Doctor's evaluations. It took special accommodations.
Oh yeah,
it took all this
it's
stuff,
a process.
Special training.
It's a long process, but you know what? Like, it's worth it. But anyway, like up until I was 18, I had always been told, like, you're not going to be able to drive, and so, you know, in a way, it really helped me prepare, because I never expected to be able to drive. So when I found out, hey, you can do it, it was really exciting. So
Me, on the other hand, I was always told that I was never going to be able to drive. But I had been surfing the message boards on the NOAA community, and I thought, okay, you know, there's a possibility. So I definitely don't take no for an answer. And I just kind of took it by the horns and just, you know, kind of made it work, basically. And you know, a lot of people in the albinism community are like that, and some of them aren't. It just, like I said, it depends on, in general, how you kind of raise your child, I guess.
And that's not saying Matt's attitude made him be able to drive. That's just saying he was one of the lucky ones that passed the visual acuity, like, because, like he was saying, even when you're approved to drive, you have these really attractive things called a bioptic, and they're just really cute glasses.
They're basically a pair of glasses, big glasses, because they have to be heavy frames, because you're pretty much straddling a telescope on the edge of your rim, basically. I'll show you what I mean.
A telescope is mounted to, yeah, just show me.
I'm working.
Prepare yourself.
With these sexy pieces of equipment. Oh yeah, look at that thing. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. There you go, yeah. Now that is a huge, look at this thing. That is like, that is.
Nice.
Now, you might be afraid. You might be like, oh, just let me know when you're on the road. Because I won't be on it. No, I mean, not me, but you. You won't want to be on the road with me. Anyways, I'm actually a pretty good driver. I'm like any other, I'm like any other 23-year-old guy. I have a fast car. I like to go fast. So, these are what I use to drive. Obviously, it has the prescription part in the lens right here, which, like I said, doesn't really make a difference. And then we also have the scope part, and that is the most useful part of this piece of equipment.
But when you're using these, you only use the telescope part maybe 2% of driving.
Yeah, maybe. You're not sitting there. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. That'd be like trying to drive looking through a pair of binoculars the entire time. We have enough vision to notice giant objects like cars and mailboxes and buildings and, depending on the situation, people. But that's kind of what you use the scope for. So I guess I'll kind of demonstrate. That's also used for,
like, if you can't see what a light is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what because the distance is what really gets you when you're driving. So, for example, when I'm driving and I'm approaching a signal light, most of the time I'm looking through the lens right here.
It kind of, we're just like tying it all together. It goes back to that whole, we can see stuff, but we can't always see it in detail. Exactly. Like, we see a light, but what color is it? Or we see an object in the road, but is that like a bag of trash, or is it something that I need to like move away from?
Generally,
so you use that.
Yeah. So I'm looking through here most of the time, and then I pull up to a light, and then I just tilt down to look through the scope. You only want to do this for a little bit because the field of vision
a few seconds
isn't very large. Yeah, and you could easily kind of lose track of where you are looking through the scope, and then just tilt back up. So the light's green. I can keep going. Coming across, what's that in the road? Those are people crossing the street.
Should probably stop.
Need to slow down at the very least, because I don't like to slow down too much. Kind of gives them a little hop in their step. They kind of want to hurry along when they see you driving along at a high rate of speed. They don't want to get hit.
Going back to kind of the school setting, or the school situation, okay.
Sorry, I need to digress real quick.
What?
The vision. Okay, here's meat branching. All right. The vision also comes with some of the reason why the vision is poor, not only because the vision is poor, but also because of light sensitivity. If there's something that we would normally be able to see, but it's like really bright, or it's just like generally with brightness, I mean obviously we have sensitivity to brightness. That doesn't mean we're like cats and we can see in the dark, which sucks for us. Because you would think there was a trade-off. Like, oh, we can't see during the daytime, but we can see like owls in the nighttime. Or like cats. True. We can't. We still bump into things like everybody else.
And the reason for our light sensitivity, our pupils don't dilate. So how normal pupils, like they'll get smaller, they'll regulate light. And like, so if you're in the sun, your pupils get really tiny. So like less light goes through so you can keep your eyes open. Ours don't do that. They stay there. It's like people have told me, or my doctors told me, that like it's like when you go to the eye doctor and you get your eyes dilated and you walk outside and it kills. That's like us all the time. It's not fun.
Yeah. That brings me to another point, another little branch. People with albinism, get good sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they can be expensive sometimes, but you can get some stylish sunglasses. They're a little bit of an investment, but you definitely want to make sure that they're polarized. Because I have a cool set of Ray-Bans. They're not polarized, but they look really cool, and they still work pretty good. Hers, on the other hand, are some really nice D&Gs, and they are polarized. And it's like, I mean, I wouldn't consider my sunglasses to be cheapies, but when I look through hers versus mine, it's like night and day. Like, the polarization definitely helps reduce the glare, and I definitely recommend it for those of you who are driving.
It helps so much. But, anyway, back to my branch, which is a better branch, obviously. For school, okay, so we both went to mainstream school, and the accommodation...
Public school. It's called public school here in California.
Whatever.
I don't know what you guys call it in the Saga.
Anyway, but it's...
I'm just kidding. I'm moving there, I guess.
Okay, so, like sometimes people ask, like, what accommodations do you get? Okay, so the main one that people think about is putting us on the front row.
In the classroom.
Yeah, in the classroom. Honestly, it doesn't matter where we are. We can't see anyway. And, you know, I don't
That's
know.
why we get little things like a monocular,
okay.
Actually.
Monocular,
it's like a little scope
it's the
without
best.
the glasses.
It's like half of binoculars. And so you just look through it. And you, like, look like a pirate a little bit. So, you know, whatever. So you do this. And this helps to see, like, the board and anything that you need to see.
And constellations.
Except no. Unless you wanted to. I mean, I'm sure it would work. So, like, it really doesn't matter where you sit. If you're more comfortable sitting on the front row, then by all means, do it.
I've just never felt it useful because with that thing, you can pretty much see the board from
anywhere.
Any seat in the classroom.